Welcome back to our final bit of action now. The Phakisa 200, an annual event here at the Phakisa Freeway, which incorporates the 111 Sports and Saloons, the GT Sports and Saloons, Super Hatch, and a couple of Posi Drive Volkswagen Challenge cars. You can see it right on the start line. Bob Neal with some issues there. It looks like it might be some oil or an overheating issue. He had to pull off the circuit. And look out for Mark Harvey Wallbanger and Philip Mayer sharing a car together. The Hennings will be driving together as well. Good to see the two of them. And a great return for Heinz Buzet, who will be joining Bevan Masters in the category. Front row, it's all about DeToy and Quanchart taking on Wouter Roos and Graham Nathan, as they will be piloting the Car Care Clinic Super Cup car. On board with that car as we go across the line. Wouter going to try and get the drop and get ahead of the Trans-Africa Racing boys on the left-hand side. He comes across to go defensive into turn one and should have the whole shot. Yes, easily done with the Trans-Africa Racing Z4 right on their tail. Dodds comes through there just ahead of Phakisa. Then you've got Taryn and Mark DeToy sharing a car. Andre Danhauser goes through there in his little Corsa. It's a nice big field. Not as big as what we've seen in the past, but of course that is testament to the times we are staying in at the moment. And with the pandemic, not everybody having the budget to come and play, but there are a lot of guys who come to play, including this man, Courtney Nickel, for Volkswagen Motorsport. He's the Driver Academy winner and looking very good and cool, calm and collected for the next 200 kilometers of racing. Dodds now trying to close onto the back end. You can see just how things are spreading out here. The difference in cars here, of course, coming from Car Care Clinic, 111 Sports and Saloons, and the GT Sports and Saloons, and the Super Hatch category cars will be a little bit different. The Stradale Motorsport machine there, that is Harry Arangi's, partnering up with Hutting in the 350Z as they come into the clutches now of the front end of the field. You can see there's going to be some fun and games. Remember, what's going to happen here is this is 200 Ks of racing. There is a compulsory pit stop, which you can do a refuel on if you need to. You don't necessarily have to if your car's able to run for the full 200 Ks. I know in the past that on the times that I've participated in this, I didn't need to do refuels myself. But it all depends on the kind of strategy you want to run here. Wouter Roos under attack from Ryan Quanchart as Quanchart dives on his inside going into Gielkop. And just changes up the lead of this race, but there's a long way still to go, so Wouter won't be too concerned about Quanchart. He just will keep him well within grasp and watch out for any safety car situations. That's a great time to take those compulsory pit stops and not lose time. It's usually some of the strategies that the drivers will be looking for. Initial issues here for Nick Martin and Chris Davidson, who have joined together, and let's catch up and find out what the problem is.
So we had a problem in the first race, losing power, and we changed the fuel pump, but we still have the same issue.
Unbelievable. It was one of the fastest lap times ever set in a Class B Super Hatch car when they did the qualifying for this by Nick Martin, and unfortunately he's now dropped out of contention. Chris Davidson would be looking and itching to get into that car, but it doesn't look like he's going to get that opportunity. Roland Hopkins under attack now from the Trans-Africa Racing Honda Civic. That's Taryn DeToy at the wheel, partnering up with her husband Jonathan. He'll be getting in the car at the driver change or at the first pit stop. Hopkins in the elegant fuel polo now, looking in his rearview mirror. He won't be used to seeing, a missed gear there. Oh, that might give Taryn a chance to squeeze through. He just didn't engage the gear properly. Labotsky goes through Phakisa there, and then Robbie De Silva. But look at Taryn DeToy all over the back end, using the ability of that car and, of course, her own ability behind the wheel, which is pretty impressive, I've got to say. The TJ Timing guys there having a super run now in the race cars themselves. As they come under braking, Taryn has a look on the inside. Hopkins runs wide, and that's it. Done and dusted. Thanks for coming, Roland Hopkins. Elegant fuel polo down one position to the Trans-Africa Racing Honda. Behind them, they start to sort things out. You can see some great racing happening there. Look at this. Francois Henning resuming the battle that would happen in Super Hatch there with his good friend Andre Danhauser, Ishmael Baloy. Just behind that, looks like that's Mal Spur. So Mal Spur now trying to apply the pressure onto the back end. And we go on board here with Donovan LaRue. And he's just behind this battle. So LaRue trying to close things down there. Look at Mal Spur looking for a way through on Ish into Unchini 1. He goes around the outside. Ishmael Baloy tucks in behind her as they go into Unchini 1 and 2. Quanchart trying to get away now at the front end and open up a bit of a margin. It's not a bad strategy to have here in the Phakisa 200. Control things from the front because you know that traffic is going to be an issue. And it's probably going to be an issue within the next lap or so. They already caught some of the back markers there, coming up on the back of one of the Trans-Africa Racing Golfs, and have managed to find a way through, but there is certainly now going to be a situation where traffic will be non-stop for the rest of this event. Let's see what's going to happen now. That's John Dendashante telling Ryan Quanchart to come in, but I think Quanchart sees Chad 10 on the pit board and says, that's not me. I think they're eventually have to flag him down to get him back into the pit lane. Andre Danhauser now with Mal Spur on his tail, looking for a chance now to keep her out. The Pro Auto Rubber Corsa taking on the Car Care Clinic Polo. Then you've got the attack coming from just behind there of Donovan LaRue and Kenneth Ellis, who are together. Oh, and out of shape. That is Francois Henning. out of shape there big time in his polo. He's had a tough day today. And he'll get back and going, but now losing oodles of ground, as you can see there. Going through, there goes Courtney Nicol. Let's have a look at it from a replay point of view from Donovan LaRue's side of things. He comes up the inside and gets through, and in the background, I think we can see that rearview mirror, but you would have just seen the spinning car. Issues for Arunjis and Hutting as they come now and start to slow down in the Stradale Motorsport car. And round the outside goes Philip Meyer, and the second of the Elegant Fuel cars there. Andy Gossman sharing with Maritz LaRue and sharing with Roland Hopkins, so doing dual duties today. The two Elegant Fuel cars now trying to get it through, but no way that we're going to see that Stradale Motorsport machine finish up this one if that's the issue. Harry Arunjis will bring that car in. Ding ding, and in the background you can see Pete Potgieter there in the Rocky car heading down towards Uncini 1. De Silva now under attack from Taryn de Toy. And a great start here to Taryn. Very, very impressed with her driving style. Henning has recovered, got back on track, but now going to try and make up some ground. And he's going to have to work hard with the Camel Trophy car of Almira Van Eck on his tail. That car can go anywhere. If it goes off-road, doesn't have to worry about anything. Hopkins now being closed down by Ryan Quanchai. Quanchai still out, has not seen the pit board yet. And I wonder if we're going to see Vota. Vota dives in. This might be a planned opportunity here for them to do the driver change and hand it over to Graham Nathan. As Vota comes in, there hasn't been a safety car, so I think a lot of teams were waiting for a possibility of a safety car. It's usually the way they work the strategies for the Phakisa 200. But Graham Nathan will now be waiting for Vota to come down the pit lane and come on in. As he comes in, remember he's got to get out the car, clean the windscreen. They've got to take one wheel off and put it back on again. They don't necessarily have to refuel. You see Andre Danhauser's team also doing a good job of their pit stop. And then once that driver has done that, Graham Nathan can climb in the car and take over the driving duties. That's the wheel being removed. Once it's been put back on and everything being done, he gets sent on his way. Let's catch up with Voti.
I certainly think so. I think we've been both pacing ourselves. We're chasing the black Z4, and we really just tried to match their laps and preserve the tyres as much as possible. But if somebody can bring it home, I'm sure he can.
Racing continuing on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, not continuing, unfortunately, for Mo Dangor's team. He has to retire that one. Jonathan DeToy now helping his wife out the car. Hopefully he'll do the windscreen change. Let's catch up with Taryn after her first stint.
Yeah, it was good. I think I just flat spotted one of the tyres going into the hairpin at the back there. So, yeah, I thought it was a good time for a bit of a change, but I was able to keep ahead of the competitors that I wanted to keep ahead of. So, yeah, hopefully let's see what Jonathan can do, and we'll see what happens at the end.
Race action continues out on track as Henning brings the Golf 5 in and retires it. And out of this one, that's a big pity for that team. And as they get into the thick of it, Patel getting a little bit out of shape. Extra shoes Golf of Adrian Dalton with some problems on the track in your right-hand shot. That's definitely not what he wanted. Malspur is in pit lane and doing her change. And she won't be doing a change, of course, just doing the tyre change. But let's catch up now with Malspur.
Good. I had a light came on the dash to say oil temp. So I panicked and came in, but apparently I'm not to worry.
This is incredible stuff. Adrian Dalton walking away from the Extra Shoes Golf 1 as we see Courtney Nicol coming into the pit lane for his scheduled stop, and Ryan Quanchai trying to open up a big margin now and still has not pitted. Let's catch up with Courtney.
Going really well. We picked up a little bit of a splatter on the throttle, so I thought I'd come out, let them do the tyre change and all that now, just to prep ourselves for the last stretch. But yeah, otherwise it's feeling good. You can start to feel the tyres dropping off a little bit, but we're making the most of it.
Look at all the safety there. Of course, a fire extinguisher on standby as they refuel the Subaru. Andy Gossman missing his pit completely, so having to roll it back. Let's catch up with Duncan Moran now from Elegant Fuel Team.
No, the car uses a lot of juice, so it's quite a bit of fuel that we've got to put in. But we'll get there.
A little bit of assistance there for Cohen as he tries to get his car back up and riding. Ryan Quanchai still out on track, has not pitted. In the pits though is Hans Bezay, and he's coming to the CPS warehouse pit. You can see those ATE brakes starting to smoke a bit. Let's catch up with him after a couple of seasons out of a race seat.
It was magic. Nice to be back in the car after a few years. Thanks to Bevan and thanks to Andre for preparing a great car. The car's unbelievable and really good fun. The guys driving nicely in Super Hatch and Triple Ones. What a nice bunch of guys. Awesome fun.
Yeah, all things are looking good at the moment. Ryan got into the lead and it's holding about a 6-second gap. Our opposition now pitted, so we're going to pit as well. it'll be me against Graham in the second half. I think our chances are good.
Cranchar now into pit lane. You can see action on track there between Dan Hauser and Henning. They're coming together at the toe of the boot. But eventually Ryan Cranchar's come in. You think they had to flag him down, and the entire team was running there. There you can see Ryan Cranchar cleaning the windscreen, part and parcel of the pit stop that has to happen. The driver has to clean his own windscreen or her own windscreen. And now Mark Dettori makes it back out onto circuit. Now, has he still got the lead, or has Vota and Graham got through? I think Vota and Graham might have just squeezed through and taken the lead. So it'll be up to Dettori now. The big fire-breathing dragon of Dodds as he comes into turn one. Amazing stuff. Looking for a chance now for a top three. He's in the hunt, is Daniel Dodds. So Ryan Cranchar and Mark Dettori's team are going to have to work hard to try and catch that big fire-breathing dragon. And they're running out of lap times here. Big time. There is the leader, Graham Nathan, doing it all right, coming onto the back end of Ishmael Beloy. And Beloy will be well aware of the big car coming behind. The difference that you're going to find right now is that the traffic is used to the faster cars coming through, and most of those faster cars will have their headlights on, so you're well aware of the quicker cars coming through there. And also the Phakisa marshals will be telling them with the blue flags to watch out for the quicker cars and lead cars coming through. Hopefully not getting all problems. That's Dettori. As we see Malspur going into the fast right-hander. Dettori pulls to the right-hand side down the back straight, and possibly with a couple of issues there. Mark Dettori, Ryan Cranchar's car slowing down the back straight. I wonder if there's going to be an issue that they can get sorted out, but Dettori pulls out of harm's way. The checkered flag is going to be coming out here, and it's going to be for Graham Nathan and Vota Rus. He's got 2 corners to go in the Car Care Clinic Super Cup car. And that GTC Super Cup Polo has not been anywhere near other than perfect today. Coming across the line for the victory there for both Nathan and Vota Rus. With Mark Dettori and Ryan Cranchar pulling to the sideline, Daniel Dodds is going to move up to second place. And that big fire-breathing dragon of his is going to come through and take second place overall in the Phakisa 200. What a great race day. There is no doubt about it. One of the best events of the season is the Phakisa 200. Overall results goes to Graham Nathan and Vota Rus. They also take the GT class ahead of Daniel Dodds, who takes 111's Class A. Maritz Leroux and Gossman taking the X class. Lubotski takes Class Bs in the Phakisa 200. In the index of performance results, Daniel Dodds was closest to his fastest lap time for the majority of the race. The percentage of that is now taken into account, so he takes that win ahead of Reinoff van Heerden and Vota Rus and Graham Nathan in third. Let's catch up now with Graham Nathan after the win.
Oh, it's a really good feeling. All credit to Vota. He bought himself an amazing little motor car. It's really, really a great car, and it does some awesome stuff. But you know, what do you expect from the VW product? It just keeps pumping out performance. So yeah, I'm very chuffed. I'm very pleased. We've after, I think this is year 3, maybe even year 4, we've had a go at this thing, and we managed to trunch and topple the BM. We in fact beat it by 2 laps. So yeah, more than that I can't say.
All this action from the Extreme Festival of Motorsport is proudly brought to you by Mobile One, Car Care Clinic Service Centre, G&H Transport, Posi Drive, and Dunlop Tyres.